Young man, what is your name?
My name is Eric Houston.
Levante. What is your nationality?
My nationality is Afro-American.
What is freedom?
Freedom is black power.
What is black power?
Black power is...
Do you know what black power is?
No.
Well, then you should never make any statements if you don't know what they mean.
I'm sorry, I don't know.
All right. How old are you, young man?
I am 4 years old.
You're not 4, Eric. Now you tell me your right age. How old are you? How old are you?
I am 4 years old.
Are you sure you're 4?
Yes.
You're going to let me turn you around and tell you you're some other age? You're 6 years old, Eric.
No.
I can't hear you, Eric.
No.
Are you being frightened by me?
No.
I'm the teacher. I said you're 6.
I am 4 years old.
All right, then. You stand up for it, then. And you shouldn't be weak. You stand up and say it. You ought to scream it in my face if I try to tell you different, right?
Yes.
Have a seat. Stand up, young man. Are you a Negro, Travis?
No.
Are you a flunky, Travis?
No.
What are you?
I am black and beautiful.
And what else are you? Are you a boy?
No.
What are you?
I'm a man.
What kind of man?
Black and beautiful man.
Or what kind? Are you an old man or a young man?
Young man.
Very good. Very good. Are you going to let somebody just make you a boy?
No.
All right. Suppose I tell you something wrong, Travis. Are you going to do it?
Yes.
You're going to do something if I tell you when it's wrong?
No.
Have a seat, young man. Eric, you're going to be reasonable, aren't you?
No.
Come here. Here you are, fine young man, right?
Yes.
Are you going to be scared of me?
No.
Are you going to be scared of some president of the United States?
No.
Some mayor?
No.
Some policeman?
No.
All right. You're a Negro. Yes! You're a Negro, Eric.
No.
Somebody pass me my stick. I said you're a Negro, boy.
No.
You're getting mighty soft. You're a Negro.
No.
Very good. All right, sit down. You, young man, you come here. Your nationality is American Negro. Yes.
No.
Your nationality, now look, don't play with me. You're a Negro.
No.
I am your teacher. You are a Negro.
No.
Suppose I threatened to beat you, what would you say? Aren't you a Negro now?
No.
What are you?
I'm black and beautiful.
What is your nationality?
My nationality is Afro-American.
Suppose I had some money in my pocket. Suppose I gave you $1 to say that you're an American Negro. This is money now. Money talks. Money talks. This $1. And if you don't say it, you don't get it. You're an American Negro, aren't you?
No.
You won't have any money. You know you need money, don't you?
Yes.
You need money to live, don't you?
Yes.
All right. All you have to say, Leon, is that you're an American Negro. Aren't you an American Negro? Are you an American Negro?
No.
What are you?
I'm black and beautiful.
What's your nationality?
My nationality is Afro-American.
Very good, man. Keep it up. Go sit down. You had to think about that a minute, didn't you?
Yes.
All right. All right, everybody. What is your nationality?
My nationality is Afro-American.
Good. All right. What I did is what people are going to do to you in different ways when you get out of the school. They're not going to just come right up to you and give you $1 or say, if you say that you're an if you say you're an American Negro, I'll give you $1. But they're going to be very nice to you, some of them, and they're going to try to, get you not to love black people. They're going to try to get you to, be something other than you are. They're going to try to make it seem as though you're different from the masses of black people. and they want you to go away. Now, say, I'll give you special things if you just come along with me and do what I say. But you must reject that. Now, you know what that means? That means you're not going to have the money you'd like to have, and money is not important. We need money. We have to buy things with it, but money is not the thing that we're living for. The only thing that makes a person worth living is being a man and being a woman, being strong in character, being straight, telling the truth, and living in the truth and doing the right thing. You understand that?
What is good, my people? We are live back again with another live broadcast on the forecast. First of all, what's going on, my brother Black Magus? Shouts out to Consider in the building. Shouts out to my brother Anthony in the building, Matron in the building. Yo, what's going on, my brother Black Magus?
Yo, BB4 Hodier, Black Liberation, man. I'm doing great. I'm flying and soaring on the wings of my yacht right now at this moment.
Hell, that's what's up, my brother. And today ain't gonna be long, you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to come on here and talk to my brother Black Magus. And if I'm talking funny, I went to the dentist earlier, so it is what it is. I just had to say that real quick. But yeah, man, I wanted to talk to my brother, you know what I'm saying? Because I ain't want to put it out there because I ain't know if my brother wanted it out there, but I know you going through some things. So I wanted you to come on here and because Consider definitely suggested that you come on here and well, not come on here, but that we just put it, so that we could help or do, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Consider had called me, what was it, like 3 days ago, I believe, up out the blue. And I was like, who is this? I don't know anybody from North Carolina. And, sis was like, it's she said her name, and I was like, as soon as I heard her voice, I knew who she was. And so she kind of asked me some information, and you could just hear the fire that we all know the sister has. Like it just started roaring through the phone. I could hear it, and she was like, we got to do something. Um, we got to do something for you because the stuff that you got going on is honorable, and these are the things that people talk about, but not many will be about. So hey, all I told her was, if you want to do something, you can. And then you contacted me a few days later and was like, yo, we got to do this. And I was like, all right.
Yeah, definitely. I think it should be out there, just for whoever willing to help or whatever. First, before you see what my brother Anthony said, did you hear about Dr. Cambon's father passing?
Definitely, man, definitely. When it happened, luckily my situation was very much at the beginning of it, so I was able to hear that news. I would have not been as pleasant of a person had I not been um where I was. Let's just say where I was when he made his transition. Got to actually speak with a lot of good people when that happened, when that ancestor made his transition. So I know his energy is I've gotten to speak with Baba Kambon a few times over the years through radio programs and stuff like that. So like, there ain't nothing that could be said other than we've lost a wealth of knowledge. A library has closed its doors. There's so many things that could be said about Baba Kambon. I just want to say to him and his family, like sincerest of feelings go out to them. I believe that they are closing out the week long celebration of life for him. I think this Sunday, or maybe it was last Sunday. I'm sorry, maybe it was last Sunday.
Yeah. That's RP to him, and shouts out to Melanated Goddess who came in the building. Now, my brother, because I want to ask you like exactly what happened, because I don't know exactly all the everything that happened. I got your IG. You know what I'm saying? Is it cool if I show it?
Go right ahead on.
Oh yeah, and you can follow my brother Black Magus on here too. But I just went on there and I saw this. I went down, then I saw my brother here. With the court thing, and then you was going in on everything, but you here, so I ain't gotta read it. So yeah, man, like let me know what's going on with this joint, my brother.
Well, no story starts off directly at the midst of what's going on. There's always a build up. There's always a ripple effect, and you never know how that ripple is going to go. Um, so basically, a little bit earlier last year, um, information came to me and my wife that our daughter um was possibly molested, and so the person who would have did it um has a history with the person who told us. The person who told us had been sexually assaulted by this person ever since the both of them were young children, probably between the ages of 9 and 10. And so this person lived a lifelong hell, having to live in the same house as this person, their actual siblings. And every time this person would mention something to their guardians, the guardians would basically kind of like brush it off, get them to be quote unquote family, and to have this person really just put all that trauma down on the inside. um that seeing where that person is now in life, that person very much knows that the biggest issue that they have is because of this. And so when me and my wife started having children, this person always made sure to keep an eye out for our daughter, especially around that individual, because just didn't want those things happening ever again. And it just so happened that maybe a few years back, maybe 2019, um, there was a situation where it looked like that it did happen. And for the most intents and purposes, I believe that um, my daughter is dealing with that mentally, whichever way possible. We've had her talking to mental health physicians without ever knowing that this here is something that had happened. And so we chose to go to those guardians around that time that we found out this, to have a discussion. Um, that discussion led into the people we were talking to, the guardians, of them saying that these things aren't true, they couldn't have happened. Guess what, it happened to me as well when I was a child, and I just learned to deal with it and grow up. And then they just turned it into an accusatory um attack, made it all about themselves. And it was just at that moment, I was like, look here, if y'all not gonna do nothing about it, then at least keep this person away from my child. I was ready to make a police statement at that point, but the primary victim was not. Again, over 10 years of trauma and assault. I couldn't push that upon that person to do. I just had to wait until that moment. But I really needed to work on my daughter, on my family. And so pretty much all of last year was kind of like me really doing that. Um, but throughout the year, there was a couple of little incidents where this person would be at the house and we would not be told. And it's like, yo, like, we've warned you. Like, why do you keep doing this? Mind you, these people have a sick, demented habit of constantly doing these type of things, even with another individual who was in a big fight on their property. And instead of them helping the victim and seeing for it that the victim gets proper justice, they helped the assailant the entire way. All because this person is family. And it after that time, they constantly would try to put the both of these individuals next to each other, even to the point where there was a family get together in another city, and they picked up both individuals without telling them. Picked up one, had them in the car, and then went picked up the other one without telling them that, hey, we're going to pick this person up. And so now these two individuals are side by side in a car for at least 30 plus minutes. So they're habitual at doing these kind of things because of whatever sick, perverse um, Christianity that they have within their minds. When I tell you that I have seen black people who are, dyed in the wool Christians, but the amount of insanity that these people have displayed throughout the years up into this event um, is by far the the antithesis of you know of what many of us really consider religion to be for our people. Where as I say to people, when it comes to Christian church, they're sinning from the moment they leave the door at 5 p.m. until 5 a.m. Sunday morning. So from 5 p.m. Sunday afternoon to 5 a.m. Sunday morning, when they're finally like, hey, I got to go to sleep from all this clubbing and sinning, so I could go to church and get this healing. This I don't know where they get this stuff from, where they believe that they could do whatever, whenever, however, even within the church, and that they're being saved. That lets us know that this stuff is hypocritical at best. Um, so fast forward to Christmas Eve, just last month, and my daughter was asked, if she could hang out and go sell cookies at the church, bake off or whoever, whatever. And it was like, okay, it is around that time of year. We don't celebrate Christmas, but these people do. And so, you go ahead and go spend that time with them. And the reason I'm saying these people instead of who these people really are, these are my quote unquote in-laws, my mother and father-in-law. So that's why there would be a sense of camaraderie, or feeling like, okay, you can at least go with them to this event, even though I don't want you going. But I know at this point they started, we're not gonna ask y'all directly, we were gonna ask the children to ask you. That way there you can be the bad guy to the children and not us. So it's that psychological mess around, to where you're going to hurt the children's feelings, and you're going to be the person who comes off as sounding like the bad guy, not us. Okay, I got you. Again, it's that time of the year. They like going over there. We let them go over there, have sleepovers, basically, at least just for that day. But for the most part, after that conversation in April, they never went over there by themselves. Only when an adult was with them did they ever be allowed to even go over there. And so towards the end of that, well, not the end of that night, but towards the evening, I had been taking care of an elder who was going through some cancer treatment. Just doing things that I do within the community. And got home, the vibe felt right. Hey, let's go ahead and call the grandparents. Let's see if they want to have a sleepover. Call them, and immediately is told that the individual is at the house. And it's like, wait, what? What do you mean the person, this person is at the house? Like, how many times have we told y'all, right? So I'm just like, look, I'm on my way over there. And I'm telling my wife to tell them, just you need to get him out of the house. Like I needed to go over there. I needed to go talk to the man of the house because it's like, yo, um, we've had this conversation on more than one occasion, and now it's to the point where you're literally having my daughter over here when this individual is here, like behind our backs. Like it's one thing when we're over there and you don't tell us, but now that you have our daughter by herself and nobody else, and this individual, like this is not good. And so that's kind of like what was on my mind. But by the time I got to the house, and into the house, I should say, yeah, what I'm about to tell y'all is nothing short of what you would assume you would hear in an action film. Um, walked into walked into the house, immediately was pushed so hard by an individual who, for the last 17 years that I've known this person, has acted as a complete invalid. Can't to the point where they can't do anything. This person mustered up every bit of strength within them and pushed me. And as I'm moving backwards, this person rushes towards me to hold me down. The pedophile comes from behind that individual and starts swinging around his abdomen area. I'm not really paying attention to it because I'm really trying to get the first person off of me. But now I have almost, if not over, 600 pounds crushing me on top of me with these two individuals. And now all of a sudden, I'm really feeling something poke me in my side. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And I look down, and the pedophile was stabbing me. He had a kitchen knife stabbing me. And I'm like, oh God. And so I dropped one arm down to catch that arm. And now I'm still trying to wrestle off two individuals with one arm over 600 pounds. I managed to control the knife and break free from these two individuals, but yet the momentum launches us forward into a different room. And now the invalid is down on my left side holding me. With the pedophile, I'm laying face forward within his guard, and he grabs the beaded chain that I had around my neck, pulls that right up into my throat, and now I'm being strangled. Now I'm trying to break free in a very compromised position, and this chain will not break. And at this moment, I'm just saying to myself, this might be how I go. The chain eventually breaks. I'm able to get free. I'm able to stand up, and I walk and leave the house, which is pretty much all that happened there. Um, that was then thrown into the cops being called out. Yeah, by this point, I'm back at home. I've brought my daughter home. I'm being told, my wife, I should say, is being told that, this person can't get up. They needed to call the hospital. And I'm like, yeah, cops are coming out because they're going to know what happened. And sure enough, I'm at my house. They come for the questioning. And it's like, no matter how many times I've gone through these, I've trained for these, it's like, what do you do when it's really you? And you're at that moment where do you talk to the police or not? Um, and I knew I didn't have a lawyer at the time, nor did I know where to immediately find one. So I did what most people would consider to be the dumb thing, and that was to talk to the cops. Talking to them led to me being arrested for first degree burglary. In the state of Colorado, first degree burglary means that you have broken into a home, whether through sabotage or through force, with the intent to harm someone or to steal something. I didn't even find out what I was arrested for until way later when I was in jail being processed almost a day later. I was brought to the detention center. The nurse checked me out and noticed the stab wounds. Didn't care about all of the rest of the knife wounds, the defensive wounds I had around me, just the stab wounds. Um, the police officers brought me to the hospital where I was looked at by staff as being less than anything else. I know what that feeling is sort of like, as the employment that I had was at a hospital doing IT work. And I've seen many of, inmates come in there and how staff treats them. So it was definitely different to now see it from that angle. Even though the cops for the most part, I thank them for treating me like a quote unquote human, um, for the fairness that they gave me in during that situation. But the hospital staff, man, I was treated like crap. They just hurry up, ran some X-rays to make sure the knife hadn't punctured, and once they confirmed that, they literally took a band-aid and put it over one of my stab wounds, not both of my stab wounds, just a small band-aid, and that was it. And I was hauled off to jail. For the most part, I'm vegan. Well, not for the most part, I am vegan. So there was no nutrition in there that I could properly get. You're given that bag, and the bag had 4 pieces of probably a week old bread, 3 packs of mustard. Why, I don't know, and an orange. So took the orange, threw the rest away. Pretty much for the next 4 days. How long was I in there? Because I got in there Christmas Eve. I didn't leave until the day after, no, 2 days after Christmas. And so my diet that entire time consisted of me literally just eating an orange from every meal that was ever given until my last like 2 hours of being locked up. They finally gave me my vegan plate and I ate green beans and carrots. But for the most part, went through a fast. I made sure I used minimum amount of energy and kept my head clear and conscious of everything that I needed to do. Um, got home, and now this is where the stuff starts, because it's like your job you still have. Oh no, they're telling you not to come into work. Within the holiday, once it ended on Tuesday, manager calls me up and he's on the phone with HR. Yeah, we're going to terminate you based on your charges. I'm not convicted of anything, but based on my charges, they're saying that they wouldn't feel comfortable with having me at the place, at the facility. Like, I've never been reprimanded before, nor have I ever been reprimanded about stealing. But here's the reason to get rid of me. I mean, if you knew my history with these people, I've always stood 10 toes down on any and everything. So they've been looking for any kind of little reason. This just finally gave them what they needed. Um, and so luckily though for me, the reason why I could be talking about the hell that I'm going through right now and still sound reasonable is because I had to do, you know, a lot of just inner talking, understanding what's going on, listening to the ancestors. And I'm set up for success in this situation. Um, another brother. His name is King Samir. I don't know if any of you've ever heard of this brother. His brother is the ex Minister of Defense for the new Black Panther Party. He had just got hit up on some charges and was trying to get donations, and I just so happened to be sending that brother something when this happened to me. And so now I'm looking at it from his perspective, like how things happen for him and how, he's asking people for money versus how I going through my situation, and just so happened to luck up to have at least money to get a lawyer. I didn't have to worry about bail, you know. perfect record. So, quote unquote, first offense. And, I'm out on my own reconnaissance, but I have to have GPS monitoring, which the GPS monitoring I have to pay for. It's $14 a day. So, if anything, I'm really seeing this as the crooked bank system that a lot of people say that this quote unquote justice system is, to the point where I am literally a slave that has to pay for his collar. And I have to make sure I maintain it, and I take good care of it. I have to take showers with this thing on. I have to make sure I don't get water on it or in it. I have to treat this thing as if it's a baby, just so they can monitor me to make sure I don't go into any of the exclusion zones that they've labeled. These are places where these individuals live or work in. And so I'm really just waiting for my court date on February 1st, which I'm hoping I don't even get to that, because the only amount of evidence that I could think of that these people would have, it suits me. They have cameras throughout their whole house and outside of their house. Well, your cameras would show that I entered your home and you immediately attacked me. To the point where, yeah, this is an attempted murder. There's a Colorado statute of um, coming to the defense of someone else. I can't remember exactly how it's worded, but the statute is like 18-2-704, where if someone, an individual is in a dangerous situation or around a sexual predator, then you have the right to go to that home in defense of that person. And you can use deadly force if necessary, only if the situation though presents itself in a deadly force type of way. Um, again, I went there for a conversation. Couldn't even get a chance to get a conversation. And so now my life is sitting at a very surreal moment where I would not have imagined that I'd be unemployed. I had multiple sources of income, but prior to this event happening, those sources of income came into jeopardy, and now I haven't been able to work on getting those back up and going as well. So at this point, I'm living off of that which I've had saved up, and the blessings that people have chosen to give me. And I'm, whether the blessings be that of knowledge, it be monetary, or it be a phone call every day just to check on me. I am happy for any and everything that people give me, because I know that, again, ancestors have my back, and I shouldn't sit here and be grumpy about everything that's going on. Granted, it is a very shitty situation. It is a very shitty situation, but you know, this shows that even honest people get caught up in this system, and now you see how the system can railroad you. And so my goal is to not get railroaded, that's for damn sure. But my goal, my most up to goal, is to take care of my family, provide for them by any means necessary. So that's it in a nutshell.
Yeah, damn, yeah. Because you kind of went through like the whole thing, and I was going, ask you like, even just certain things about that, but like even going through what you said, you know what I'm saying? Like there's so many things that you could talk about. And definitely Black Meg is a brother who always, like, ever since he came through here, you know what I'm saying, supported me, one of the few people that show love and show support. So I definitely want to I ain't know everything that was going on, so I definitely wanted to show some support, you know what I'm saying, back to you. And even just the whole thing, we won't even gotta talk about this part of it, because like even with the pedophilia part of it, right? Because even in my life, you know what I'm saying, I knew like one of, like, when I was young, I was like 15, 16, like the girl I was like, my first girlfriend, like, but her father used to do this to her, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't do anything, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause she used to be like, please don't, she's gonna threaten this and do that, you know what I'm saying? And even other situations that I knew where it happened to women, and then they would tell somebody, and nobody believed them, and then nobody came to, and that's a whole nother conversation. You know what I'm saying? I tried to have that conversation, so you know what I'm saying, we ain't even got to talk about that. I mean, unless you want to say something, because I was just gonna ask you just a couple things, but you went through everything, but I would still ask you anyway. But
I mean, I'll tell you, like I told my son, um, when I got home and they seen the blood coming out of my side and was just afraid of everything. And I seen him crying, and I said, "What are you crying for?" He said, "Because you're going to go to jail." And I just sat right next to him and I said, "Look at me. As a man, there are things that we must do in life, and we cannot be afraid of. There should be no fear of prison and no fear of death. As a man, there are things that we must do, and we have the power." And I chanted that with him maybe for 2 to 3 minutes until I seen him with the happiness back in his face and, ready to have nothing but laughter. Um, I would say I had the quote unquote benefit of being arrested outside of my home. So I know that that image is not something that, is implanted in my children's or my wife mind. That I didn't allow them to see that. I went outside, talked to the police, and let me tell you, I don't know what these people were told, but they definitely came in like 3 or 4 squad cars with one dude sitting off in the back with a shotty. So it was like, man, look here, I don't know what the hell y'all been told, but let me show you nothing but the utmost respect, as I'm going to demand it from you. And you'll see, like, everything is copacetic. Ain't no need for nobody to have their finger on no trigger around here. Um, Man, when it comes to when it comes to pedophilia, man, again, all I can say is that as a man, there are things that you must do, and you know, if you choose to take a different route than I chose, then fine, so be it. Everybody can say what they want about how they would operate in a certain situation until you find yourself in that situation. I just hope that you do what's best, you do what's smart, you do what's wisest, so that the victim can receive the justice that they deserve.
yeah, definitely, definitely. And then like I guess try to go in order. Even okay, so when the police even came, you know what I'm saying? That's something that we understand in itself. So but you got hurt doing this whole process too, right? And then when you was talking about when you went to the hospital, and this is another thing that I try to like show, like a lot of this stuff is no surprise, you know what I'm saying? Like as far as like the treatment that you get and with the police and with the hospitals and all of that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff is like no surprise, but that's why I talk about medical stuff, and you'd be surprised like what people that like, you know, Erica don't even really like, she probably listens, but she don't even come on here no more. And I always tell y'all to shout them out because you know they don't take that kind of stuff seriously. And then being a black man on top of that, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, um we still rely on them for like medical stuff. And then even like, you know, they're not going to respect like your diet, you know what I'm saying, when you're saying you're a vegan or any of that kind of stuff. They're not going to respect any of that. But you know, I don't know, you want to say something about that though?
And look here, um, to sum it all up, right? Like, I knew last year was the year of battles for me. Just with the birth of our, most recent son. We did everything at home except for the actual birthing of our son. We've tried working with midwives, doulas, all of that. good stuff, but people are afraid of the system. You try to work with those people and you find out that they have certificates and licenses given to them by the state, and they claim to be, especially when it comes to doulas, they claim to be for the people. They're doing this for women, but the moment that their license comes into jeopardy, it's like, ugh, yeah, no, I got to keep my license. Granted, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that, you know, I would want somebody to have thrown away their license when we were in need. But the way that it's done, I mean, people just cut you off. They, somebody who you could have been talking to for at least two or three occasions, now you're looking for them for professional help, and yeah, it's nothing. It's crickets. Your phone number might be blocked. So standing alone on a solitary principle is something that my life was all about last year. So when it came to me going into the hospital for this event, to get patched up, literally, I went in there not expecting to be treated any different than I knew I've been treated my entire life when it comes to white people. Um, yeah, you're gonna come across those who will definitely have that quote unquote human, you know, morality in them, and they won't treat you wrong. Um, but then you got some who are just downright disgusted with the sight of us as a people, and so I got that. I got that look more than once during that altercation while in the hospital. The nurse who seen me, he even asked the doctor like, "Hey, what are you gonna do?" Like, because they were pretty much running around, and the guy was like, "This man has two holes in him. Like, what do you want to do?" And I literally heard the doctor say, "Just throw a band-aid on it." Just throw a band-aid on it. And I'm like, wow, this here is the United States of America, and this is how they treat you. The entire time that I was in the detention center, you know, not one guard, which was totally different because I've been arrested before in detention centers and in a jailhouse, back in New Orleans where I'm from. And at that moment in New Orleans, yeah, I was treated like scum by all prison workers. But it was different this time. And I cannot explain what it is. All I can say is maybe I benefited from the liberalness of Colorado, what it is now. But I definitely received nothing but respect from every last single person who worked within that detention center. And like nobody took the time to cuss you out, inmate, treat you like garbage, make fun of you, and things like that. Like they just act like people who had a job that didn't want to have to do more than just watching over people. And for that, I can I can be grateful for the fact that, again, I wasn't abused, though I did not have a diet that consisted of the things that I needed or had wanted. But again, I don't even look at that as such a bad thing. I was able to drop 10 pounds through fasting there. I didn't pick up any any diseases while in there. I didn't, hell, I did my best to not even really drink the water that was in there. Just whenever I got a chance to get out of the cell and stretch out a little bit, I would put water in the cup that I would put my orange peels in to help alkaline the water. They give you these little like Kool-Aid packs. I just throw a little bit of that on top of there, mix it up, let it sit alkaline for a little bit, and then that would be my source of water. Um, you know, I tell people that I am not where I am in. I'm sorry, I am not where I'm at right now without the training and tutelage of real race men and women who have prepared me for such things. Granted, I've come from a very rough upbringing where these kind of things happen a dime a dozen to our people. I'm nobody special in that moment, but it's about how you carry yourself and operate when you're in that moment. And luckily being arrested in Colorado, not a lot of black people who were arrested as well, though. Once I actually got in, I did see more black people than white people. Um, but everybody put on that big hardcore, front. But then when we are all in front of the judge for bail, you see the bitch come out of some people. Judge, please don't do this. Don't take away everything I worked so hard for. But as soon as you came in, you was talking Billy badass, and now you standing in front of Billy the badass, and you a little sad ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't had no reason to slump, to look in pity. Stand tall and strong, as I've been taught and as I have instilled within myself. And I always, suggest that to everybody. Like, man, you ain't got to be afraid of nothing. If you know that what you are doing in life is right, and I don't mean that in some narcissist, cynical way, right? I mean, like, you are literally doing things that benefit people, and you're not harming anybody. Then the ancestors are gonna take care of you, plain and simple. And they took care of me, and they are still taking care of me.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you on that, and and some of the things though is that that's the issue. Is like I'm like nobody special. This happens all the time. It does, and there's a reason why. Like you go in there because like let's be real. Like a lot of times you like scared or whatever. You got to put on this image because you feel like, oh, I'm going in front of these other black men, so I gotta act hard or whatever. But then when you see this judge, you said, like the bitch come out, because they have things that they actually punish you with. And I understand it. I don't like it, I don't accept it. You could call it what it is, but I do understand why they do what they do. And a lot of that is the same problem. Is because what I'm saying? That's just how they use the system. And then anything that they do to punish you, you be like, yeah, everything that I worked so hard for, so you're not going to do certain things. And all of this is like, but I don't want to like keep you too long, but I want to show this, because I want to ask you a couple more things before I go. You mentioned, and this is my brother right here at the hospital, you know what I'm saying? But the employment thing, you know what I'm saying? Because that's another thing. And I was showing you the a video earlier when even the little kid was like thought about it when it came to $1. Are you a Negro? And a lot of us would take that. Not saying that, and I understand why we have become prisoners because we need, what I'm saying, money and resources and stuff to survive because we are so dependent on somebody else. So you're not gonna go against something to get fired, and that's understandable. I'm not saying that anybody should or shouldn't, but when we be on these jobs and we be like, oh, I'm complaining about this and this, well, we can like all not do it, you know what I'm saying? And then they have to, but then be like, oh, well, I have children, I have this, I have that. And that's completely understandable. But as long as we are kind of dependent on like the whole money thing, that's a whole nother problem, you know what I'm saying? But even when I say that, like with the riverboat thing, like the black people that stood up, a lot of them got fired. I think the 16-year-old got fired, you know what I'm saying? And they use that kind of thing against you when it comes to the jobs, you know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know if you have something to say about that, and
Man, look here. I find it very poignant that the Cat Williams stuff is going on right now, right? And people are resurfacing the coonish times that these people who Cat has exposed or talked about, whichever word you want to use, how they've shown that they've sold out for $1, right? And the biggest one, Steve Harvey, right? He's showing when he was telling this joke. I guess he was talking to and I believe I've heard this stand up before. He was talking to the actor Michael Clark Duncan. That's the big black brother from the Green Mile, if anybody's seen it. He also played. The brother played in a lot of movies. He was a real good actor. He actually was. He was actually one of the few who stood by and actually helped the people. Um, he said that he was talking to him and found out that he was playing in the Mark Wahlberg remake of Planet of the Apes, and found out that he was going to be, wearing a monkey suit. And so black people were giving him flack, saying, "Yo, haven't we come far from doing stuff like that?" But the studio was paying him, I think, like $8 million or something like that. And so Steve was like, "Yo, for $8 million, I'll be all the monkey you want me to be. I'll be the biggest monkey. Look here, I slide, I'll swing in on the tree vine." You know, that type of capitalism to me, man. You're trash. You're garbage. Yeah, I've never sold out for a dollar, for a dime. Um, I am probably the greatest unknown supporter out there. Um, just so happened that right before all of this happened, I tallied up how much I send out in donations. Again, I say donations. How much I send out in donations on a monthly basis to people, and it was almost $1,000. I sent out almost $1,000 a month in weekly donations. So you hear that and you might think that, oh man, Black was making money. Nah, I was a man trying to save our race from a 9 to 5. I'm gonna make no mistakes about it. I was a man trying to save my race from a 9 to 5. You see, I grew up below the poverty line, so I know what hard times look like. But I also know how to make money and only keep that which I need to survive, save that which I can, and help the others. You see, when I had a good paying, high priced job when I was in the post office as a supervisor, I didn't think about those concepts. Yeah, I was still shopping Black, but I wasn't supporting Black. I would support my brother Irritated Genie by buying his products, but I wouldn't send him donations unless he actually asked for it, right? Um, when I lost that job, I thought about the fact that there are people out there every day who are working towards not just my freedom, but our people's freedom. And these people don't ask for a dime, but they do it. They put their lives on the line. They put the lives of their families on the line. They only know how to eat, sleep, breathe, race work. And yet we do nothing as a group of people to honor them. And so I had it in my mind that, when the lockdowns came, once they started sending out those massive amounts of money, at that moment I said, at this point in my life, I'm only going to, help people build things. Like, granted, Straight Black Pride members already knew me, but this was at times where they know everybody's pockets is hurting, and yet I'm still able to send in some support. Mind you, I'm the only person who works in my family. If you want to say I'm the quote unquote breadwinner, then you can say that. Um, you know, but I take care of my wife and our children, which was two, now it was three, and I was still managing to send out almost $1,000 in donations to others, and didn't ask for a dime for anything else from anybody. I'm not saying this as a means to, you know, say that's why I want people to support me. No, I always knew that whatever I would do, it would come back to me holistically. And when I put up that very first post with my Cash App in it, um, I had a brother who hit me up and he was like, "Man, look here, I'm gonna send you something as soon as I can." And I said, "That's not for you. That's for people who I don't send anything to, but yet I still build with them and I do things. I just want to see who's going to send something." And the people who sent me things, people who sent me finances, I should say, are the same people who I've been supporting, to the point where I know of a sister who, I don't even want to say that. I don't even want to say that. But this sister is hurting in a very bad way. She's at a life death situation right now, and she's not even working. But yet she still found it necessary to send me some ends. You know, again, a dollar don't mean nothing. Our people's sovereignty means the world. And granted, if you know, if I didn't have the support from others that I've gotten, would I be hurting as hard? I'd be in the same situation that I'm in, to be honest. But look here, I got a house. If I need to sell it, I'll sell it. We can't be afraid of giving up things. Again, I'm a Hurricane Katrina survivor, so I know what it means to lose everything, and on a materialistic basis, right? I have a unique history and upbringing that has prepared me for this type of situation. So I'm just a fighter, you know. And what I told my wife is that some people think that, as it was said earlier, right? Bury the man, continue to plan. We hear that a lot when people want to talk about, even when we talk about Baba Khan Bone. We do take the time to honor those people, but we do have to, continue to move on. Everybody who has come out to support me has amazed me, because it's like, yo, at this point, I can't help any of you get to where you get to through the missions that you need, right? I can't help you financially to accomplish what needs to be accomplished, but yet you're still taking the time to at least bend a knee to help me get up. And because of that, I can't lean on the ropes. I can't lean on the crowd. I got to get back in the fight, because they're moving forward with their plans and with their missions, and they've helped me to get up. Now I need to fight my way back to a place to where I can support them in any way I can. So it's all reciprocal for me. Everything is reciprocal.
Yeah, definitely, and I want to say this because I want to talk about that after this, right? Because I want to say something about what you just said, but I want to say this first, and then we're gonna get out of here. And shouts out to Raw in the building, because I think this is something else that's important. So I want to play this one part too, because it go back to like the whole prison thing, and then you lose your job, and then they also charge you for being a prisoner, you know what I'm saying? And then a lot of us think that we are free, but like we are not, you know what I'm saying? But I want to play what you said in this. Let me see. Let
You
me
can't
start
tell
it.
me
Let me start it over.
something really just hit me. You can't tell me slavery don't exist. You can't tell me it doesn't. Not when they know where I'm at all times. I gotta keep the motherfucker charged. I also gotta have this motherfucker on my leg. That's not me trying to say I gotta turn myself in. Or hey, they sending the folks for you. You can't tell me slavery don't exist. Because I gotta pay to have this bitch on me.
All right, so yeah, that's just another whole thing about it. Even with that, you have to pay for that, even though you are in a situation where you don't have it financially. And um, I forgot what they called it. It was some kind of, it was like debt slavery, but they called it something, and it was supposed to be illegal. But you have always been like a kind of a debt slave, and then the way they put you into the system is almost like it's it's designed to be this way. Of course it is. You know what I'm saying? It's just the fact that we keep doing the same thing over and over. And then at the same time, it's like really, you know what I'm saying, like people don't want the true answer, but like we have to wait until it hit home for us to feel like we got to do something to like even stand up. But like even that whole thing right there, you know what I'm saying? Like I got family who've been through all of that, you know what I'm saying? Like good people that have been through all of that. Sometimes people are struggling financially because they can't get a job in the first place. So they got to do what they have to do to support their family. They end up in that system and then it's a cycle all over again. And then they're charging you for that on top of it. So, you know, it goes back to even what you were saying with the judge, you know what I'm saying? Like you bow down to the judge, but you look at the other brothers because you think that they gonna have the smoke for you, but we don't have smoke for nobody else, you know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, jobs alone and the fact that they make you depend on the jobs is one of the issues, you know what I'm saying? Like because and you don't have to, but like we're so caught up in it, like what else are you gonna do? But that's just how it goes. But yeah, go ahead, my brother.
Man, it's well, I believe it was in 2021 or early 2022 when I started Black Family Vanguard. Um, and I told the brothers that, the most valuable resource that we have now is time, and you can't you can't accumulate more of it. You just have the time that you have. Yet everybody's hands is in your pocket for your time. I remember growing up in the 80s and 90s where, you couldn't ask somebody for a nickel. But now you could ask people for $100, but you can't ask them for 10 minutes of their time. That their time is precious to them. They wrapped up in whatever they're doing. And, when you ask them for their time, then you have to think about this. Are they on their time right now, or are they on their job time? If they're on their job time, then hey, I gotta go to work. I gotta get back to it. But if they're on their time, then that right there is the gross most negligent moment of their life, because they spend so much time to even get ready for work, right? And I say this to people to get them to understand what I mean is that the moment you lay your head down because you have yourself on a schedule for your job. So the time that you even put into resting, that's the job's time, because you then wake up, you get yourself ready, and then you leave out the house. If you leave out the house late for work, tell me you ain't flying like a bat out of hell to get there. You can't tell me that working for others means that we are living a good life, right? You can make good situations out of it, and you can use that money to put yourself in a type of situation where you don't have to depend on that job ever again, which I suggest you do. Or you could do like I did, still take care of yourself, but then put your put your quote unquote 10% into the movement. You go into church, you putting how long you been giving to the roof fund, how long you been tithing, how long have you been receiving blessings, but yet saying it was that metaphysical God who put this into your life because you gave to the church. I guarantee you find yourself in my type of situation and you've given to people, it's going to be those same people who are going to come right back to bless you. um you never know how a situation is going to go, but if you put forth positive energy in everything that you do, you have to see nothing but positivity come back to you. That's not something that I realized really until 2020. 2020 is when I got super sincere and honest. Even the people who knew me before um seen the biggest change in what I did. And it was because, like I said, there are things as men that we have to do, just plain and simple. Um when it comes to this current battle that I find myself in, it's only going to get um what do they say in Christian doctrine? That which is done in the dark shall be brought to the light. Um, I believe that that's what this is, but I'm gonna have to fight for it. At first, I thought it was just gonna be, our ancestors are gonna be like, nah, son, you're not supposed to be in this. You're not supposed to be in this type of situation at all. So we gonna null and void it for you. So when I got out, I had to go right back to court on that Friday, what they call pre-trial services, to see if the prosecution was going to stick the charges. And the first person they spoke to and they gave paperwork to was this um, person who, I don't know, maybe the person was an illegal immigrant. I don't know. But they were like, yeah, we're not going to press any charges. We're going to drop everything. You're free to go home. So I was like, oh, that's going to be me next. That's going to be me next. And so the lady is calling everybody's name. She's calling everybody's name. Then she calls my name. And I'm like, here it is. And she's like, here's the paper with your charges. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, what can y'all possibly be charging me on? Um, and I had to go through a couple of things at that moment. But I was really down in the dumps that Friday. Then I just went to go chill with some friends of mine, and really got to sit back in my mind and think about, you know, well, why is it going on? Like, if I know the ancestors are watching out for me, why would they still allow me to go through this? And it was like, because black, these people are foul, man. Everything that they're doing is foul. Um, and somebody has to be the light in this. Somebody has to bring all of the things that they've done um to the light of justice. And so I think the ancestors placed me here for a battle. Again, I can't say I can't be a leader if I'm not battle tested, right? Like, we can get online and we can talk, but until we show people that we are battle tested, then everything is just for show. Even with the community work that I've done, I mean, yeah, there are people who have benefited from it, but it's still about, there's work and then there's battles. The work is it might sometimes the work is a battle depending on what type of work you choose to do. But for me, my battle is definitely different than the work that I've chosen to do. And I'd be damned if I let anybody take that away from me. So when I took the time to really think about why am I going through this, I had to piece together that these people are trying to take away my children, right? They believe that, you know, I remember in 2015 when I disconnected cable and I said, yo, we'll still have some streaming services, but for the most part, we're going to get into books. My father-in-law thought I was crazy. He told me that I'm taking my children away from the outside world. They won't be able to get a grasp of the outside world. I said they can go outside. Like, what are you talking about? They can't get a grasp of the outside world because they don't have the tell lies and vision box sitting in front of them all day like you do. This is a person that um I've come to find out that when it came to the 94 crime bill, he was one of those happy Democrats. This is the part when it comes to politics, a lot of us don't talk about that. Some of our people vote Democrat because they actually do know what the Democrats are doing, right? So he learned about the 94 crime bill, learned about locking brothers up, putting them away. He was happy to do it to the point where he was able to finally move into a part of town that had been gentrified and black people had been locked up. He was an ordained pastor at the time, just saying, lock him up. And you know what he did right after that? He went to go be a pastor at a youth prison facility. He created his own job. You can't tell me this man isn't evil. You can't tell me this man is not evil. Um, and so because we don't raise our children in the light of Christianity, they believe that everything that we're doing is wrong. So on this past Saturday, um, Me and the wife were chilling, and there were some text messages that was exchanged between her and her assailant. The assailant happens to be her actual little sister. And so, yeah, my wife is the only child that is different than everybody else in that family. Um, that stuff led into, I don't know if it was what do they call it, swatting, when people call the police on you. But yeah, it led into the police being called. It's like 1, 2 in the morning, and I'm freaking the hell out because I'm like, yo, what is going on? Why are these people at my door? Especially with my wife on the phone with this person at the same time. But they're saying that they're there to do a wellness check to see if everything is okay, because the text message that she supposedly sent was quote unquote suicidal. And so now I know that they're constantly trying to find anything to see if this house is in jeopardy. To say that I'm a monster and I'm controlling everybody and I'm keeping everybody held hostage. So now I have to worry about eyes being on me even when we step out of this house, because I never know when somebody is really going to be taking pictures or some crap like that to try to paint a bad picture of who I am. So now I'm going to be having two battles possibly that I'm going to be fighting. One for my freedom, these charges that I'm stuck with um, carry a 4 to 12 year sentence, but that means nothing to me if my children are taken away, whether before that judgment comes or that judgment doesn't come. I should say that judgment will not come. Um, but either way, my children being taken away, that would be devastating.
Yeah, man. I definitely couldn't even imagine that, and I understand, and I definitely appreciate, and shouts out to Considera, you know what I'm saying? She definitely, because I didn't know if you even wanted it out there, but she was like, nah, we need to because what you were saying, and by the way, I don't know if Consider want to come on here, if it's cool with you if she come on here or whatever. But we about to close out. But I wanted to say one last thing. Go ahead. It's cool with you?
Oh yeah, yeah. I was just gonna say, yeah, man. Let's Sidra come up here if she wants to. She's
Yeah,
she's
if you
partially
want.
the reason we even up here, right?
Right, pretty much, yeah. And I have to say, because you definitely support me, you know what I'm saying? And so I definitely wanted to show you some love, and I have to say this though, because I can't tell anybody to be like, do this with your money or do that, because of course people take it the wrong way, look at it funny, and it's reasons for that, because of course they did a good job putting people in the community who take people money, and then of course there are always going to be people who take that. But it's the thing is, it's like when you talk to people around here, you know what I'm saying, you never know what somebody is going through, you know what I'm saying, or what somebody is doing. Like even with Considera, she is really doing business and really trying to, but every time she puts out, more so for the time, people don't want to like have the time to do anything. But like, even we all in terrible situations. With that was my whole idea of having that whole group thing, but that didn't work out. That's why I can't be like, and I don't want to be responsible for like money or none of that kind of stuff, because like my idea was like, yo, if we all serious and like we going through things, we are putting our money in the circle, helping each other to build, because of course it's definitely hard out here. So we can, you know what I'm saying, just put our resources together. Like, well, like only very few, like Raw is another person who does it, because we all going through something like health wise, you know what I'm saying? We may lose family members. Like we just had the idea of having the birthday challenge, where on your birthday everybody who participate put in $5 or $10, and only 5 of us, but it was like $20 to get it on your birthday, you know what I'm saying? But imagine if that was like 100 people just doing this quote unquote birthday challenge. You put in $5, and whoever birthday it is, you get it. But it's difficult when it comes to talking putting money together, because it's like damn if you do, damn if you don't. You know what I'm saying? Because if I don't say something about like the water, then it's like, oh yeah, you just talking. But if I say something, oh well, you're just trying to get this and get that. You know what I'm saying? And so it's a problem that we continue to have. Like I said, I went to the dentist earlier, and it was a black woman. She has a dentist office, and her husband has the oral surgeon office. So they work together, you know what I'm saying? And they're husband and wife, and that's just two people though. You know what I'm saying? And that's the issue. We all like individuals, and you know, it was a good idea, but you know what I'm saying? Of course I had to learn the hard way. But I'm sorry, Consider, what's going on, Consider?
Hey, fellas, how's everybody doing? I'm listening to your story and I'm so aggravated because I know the system sucks. I know the system is totally out for our black men. Um, and I'm telling you, when all this is over, that family would never see me and my children again. I swear. I don't know how your wife is feeling about all this and feeling about the family and about the person that did what he did. But that family is not good for your family. You know what I'm saying? For if you can't trust them, that when your baby is with the grandma, you can't trust that right there, then that grandma needs not to have anything to do with your children. They cannot be absolutely safe. You understand what I'm saying? And I don't we have to do something, family. This right here is why we need our own everything. We need to totally be separated from their system because there is no justice in their system. But you're in this situation to blow the lid off of some stuff that's happening in the system. It may be a book or it may be some things where you can expose some stuff that you're seeing and you're experiencing to help other people. We go through situations in order to help other people. You understand our situation, maybe what we do in our situation may be a blessing for somebody else. It'll help another person out. But I know you're looking at it like, but I got to get that out myself. But you're going to get out. But your situation is going to help others that's going through the same situation that really can't see a way out. You going through this is going to be a blessing for them. And I know it's like, oh my God, how am I going to do that? It's just a way that we go through stuff. It's not just for us, but it's for other people. You understand what I'm saying?
Nah, I wholeheartedly get what you're saying, sis. Again, right when I take it back to the childbirth, we had to go to the same hospital that killed our first son. So to have to go back to that establishment was deadly to us. We didn't want to, but everybody turned their backs. But we went in there with a different mindset and with the actual legal documentation of how things are going to go. And we left out victorious. And at that moment, I even told my wife that you had to do this because now you need to chronicle this because you are going to be the champion for sisters out there that are all going through this same stuff that don't want to have to depend on the system. See, when it comes to, if we're just talking about childbirth, right? This would totally break the system to the point where they would put laws on the books immediately. If all sisters did home prenatal care,
right?
You did home prenatal care, but then you went to a public general hospital with a birth package saying that you control everything about this birth, you control everything about this baby, and y'all can't do anything about it. Even to the point of a transfusion where I don't want you to give me somebody else's blood. I want an auto transfusion. Nobody's blood is better than my own. Then we would totally see a collapse of the medical industry. They would put laws on the books so fast to change who could do what.
And that might even be something that your wife can do. Go and I'm looking for a doula. I mean, we as Black women, that's a field that's much needed because we don't see Black women used to dominate that system, right? But now you look up, it's more white women in that. Because I've been looking for doulas, can't find any Black ones that really want to help. But that could be something that your wife is willing to learn, and she could be doing it in our neighborhood, in our community. That could be a start right there. But anytime they see that a Black man or a Black family is going against the norm, Oh, they got a horn in on that. You should know some you should know they coming from that one because they don't want us to be free of their system. So they're going to use their laws to stop us from being free from their system. But that can't stop us because if enough of us do it, what are they going to do? If black folk rose up globally, there would be nothing that they could do because there's too many of us. People don't understand. It's more than 13% of black folk. We've been here for over how many years have we been here? And you mean to tell me we've not grown any? But the Chinese come and they grow. The Mexicans come, they grow. But black folks still at 13%. You know that's not even true. They would never tell you. But you have to understand we're the salt of the earth. You can't number us. It's so many of us, and they know that. But they have to make you feel that you're the minority. But this is a good avenue for your wife to even go in to help other black women that want to do the same thing, because we are served opportunities even when we go through the hardship of all of this. There's opportunities where you guys can open up your own businesses, and you don't have to rely on the system anymore for anything. And this could be a blessing for you, a disguise for you to step out in your own business. You don't have to. You're in IT. IT is not going nowhere. That system right there is where it's at. So that's your own business right there. You already have the knowledge to do it. So sometimes he'll pull us out of their system for us to create our own systems. And why not? This is the best time as any to create your own right now. Going through what you're going through, create your own so you will never have to go and work for another white supremacy ever.
Look,
Period.
that is the ultimate goal. That's the ultimate thing that I'm actually working on. Look, even if I do get employed somewhere, I'm like,
Mhm.
yo, I'm only gonna be here
For
for
a minute.
literally a few months.
Mhm. Mhm. Yep. To stack your
I got
bread
other
to do
things to
your.
do.
Yep.
I got
To
other
stack
things to
your
do.
bread. Hmm. But I hate you going through this, but it's all for a reason, and we have to look at this as this is an opportunity. It's a for a reason. We might not understand it now, but I'm just saying it's an opportunity right here.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, man, because my brother Black Magus, like him, Raw, like only a few people actually like support everything that we be saying.
Mhm.
Like only a few people, and that's the thing. It's not even because, and that's why I'll be like, yo, it's not even because when Cathedral was just saying like, I know when they had the shooting at the high school, the Huguenot high school, you know what I'm saying? Sidra was like, yo, like, oh, how about we like get black men to be like, see if we can go to the local
Mhm.
public schools, and then only me, her, and Bakari, and like she said, ask for men, and she's doing it, you know what I'm saying? Like, and she wasn't asking for anything. So like, even when people say that kind of stuff, I do think that we need to use economics together, but like it's hard to like I guess
It's
trust because
hard
you know what I'm saying people
because they taught us how not to.
right, and then they
Right?
put people in here
Mhm.
that get over on people, and like
Mhm.
even though you can see the red flags and the stuff,
Mhm.
that's why people need to put their own money into their own things and to like support what you really believe in, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
Right.
but people don't even support what they
They
believe in,
don't.
you
They
know.
don't.
So, hmm
They won't because we've been taught not to, and that's the unfortunate part. But instead of us whining about their systems, we have to build our own because Black Wall Street wasn't built on us voting. It was built on Black people trusting each other and pulling their monies together. That's how it was built. And that's the only way that it's going to be rebuilt again. If Black people, we have no choice but to separate from them. And I do believe that if we try, enough of us try it, we can do it. And we don't need them. We don't need them. But we don't understand that. We use their jobs to get to where we need to be. And then we walk away and have our own. It'll be enough to support. But we have to understand what is the protocol. The protocol is us doing for self in the end. But yes, you may have to use their jobs for a minute, like you said, and then you step out in your own.
Yeah, absolutely. And like yo, and Cassandra was not joking. She like got big things out. She got me studying like stuff, and she be also on it. I can't even like BS like you know what I'm saying. You know,
It's time.
so
It's
she be on it.
time.
So she got like big things coming. But that's what I mean. You know, so Black Magus, you could put your like your Cash App in there. You know what I'm saying to support if anybody wants to support my brother, you know what I'm saying, I definitely owe you more because you supported me. You gave me stuff on multiple occasions, you know what I'm saying, and you know, so I
Man,
But I'm
okay,
definitely.
telling you, we have
you
to
don't,
support. We have to
you don't,
support our own. Go
yeah,
ahead, bro.
forecast. You already know you don't financially owe me anything. Though I am grateful for it. That is a definite. But nothing that I've done for anybody was for them to have to reciprocate it back to me, right? Like I seen those who even when I first started coming on your platform, right? I said I was looking around on social media to see who's real and who's doing something. Um, and so that kept me always coming back here to you, even to supporting the things that you do, whether it be through sharing the information with others, sharing your broadcast with others, financially contributing to you, or even getting you on a radio program where you can talk with others and they can even check you out. Like it's pretty much what was just said, right? Like we have to get to supporting. Um, the other thing is though is that we have to create some kind of counter propaganda campaign. And the reason why we have to do that is because right now we have a lot of fakes and charlatans out here who have fleeced our people for too long. Um, and I know Forecast talks about all of these people because he'll talk about how everybody else within y'all group might not feel the same exact way, and I understand that because I'm just gonna say it as is. The character known as Tariq Lashid, as I call him, like for any of our people to be listening to this guy for any amount of advice means that they have reduced themselves to being a whore. And the reason why I say that is because this man is a pimp, and he put his tactfulness of being a pimp into finding out how he could pimp out consciousness. we, are we all literally sitting here forgetting the fact that this man came to us in the conscious community doing what Sonetta had already did, but doing it in DVD format? He sat with the elders. He sat with the ancestors at this point. Francis Cress Welsing on the very first Hidden Colors. And he told us that he was with us. But then, and then this is something that I don't think a lot of people seen. This happened when Hidden Colors 2 came out. There was a video of Tyreek walking through New York. I don't know what borough, but he was walking through New York, and he came up on a brother who was selling some bootlegs. We all know the brother who has the van or whatever that's selling bootlegs, and he seen copies of his stuff. And he Tariq handled the situation the exact way he should have. Don't get me wrong on that, but there was a key thing that he said at that moment that let me knew back then not to trust this dude. And he said, "I'm not a part of the conscious community. I'm not conscious. There ain't nothing conscious about me." If anybody can find that video, I suggest they bring it up and they show it, because somehow the trick bag that this dude has done to come into the community, and what he did was he placated to the feelings of those who were either conscious or part of the quote unquote conscious community, who were looking for proper leadership, right? Again, Cat Williams, this stuff that's going on with him is very poignant that is going on right now, because he's even showing that, he said it himself on the interview that he just did with what's the brother from the Beast, from the Ghetto Boys, Willie D. There you go. They just did an interview. And he was saying that the masses of people want to be led. They need to be led, and that is true. That is true. Our enemy has reduced our people's mentality and ability to lead themselves into that of servitude, but they only need to be led into understanding that they themselves are leaders and that we have to do these things communitively. The moment that we take off the head of the snake, right, the rest of the body will die off. We have to put together a counter propaganda campaign to fight back against all of these dudes and females as well, who mean our people no good from their manosphere or phagosphere, as I call them, or gynocracy, um, ADOS. I understand that there is a difference in the B1 mentality, because there are the Tariq Rashid followers who call themselves B1, but then they have xenophobic tropes to anybody not born here in America. We have so many different political identities now that our people can't build on anything, while whites are still sitting here. This was in Forbes just this week or last week, that by 2053 black people will be reduced to financial, what was it, zero. We would have zero finances in this country.
Yeah.
So we either gonna get forced to get together, or we're just gonna let the masses who want to be led into their death. We're just gonna have to let them go.
Yeah.
But you know what? The sad thing is, we hear this and we know this, but Black people are not building anything. They're waiting for white supremacy to free them. They're waiting for them to build for them. They're waiting for them to tell them it's okay. But I'm gonna tell you what, some y'all can sit there if you want to. Cassie got things to I got things to do. And I mean that. I will not, that's not including me and mine. I'm building generational wealth. And I hope that you are not doing it. And I hope that people that are listening to our voices now are building, are going out for what they were put on this earth to do. And this year you do it, period. Or else you will be one of those that will be without and starving to death, waiting on white folk to feed you when you can feed yourself. We have Black farmers that we need to be supporting, and we're not. So
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I rest my mic.
No, yeah, that's a fact. And like Cassandra is about to start being she about to start making $1,000 a month, you know what I'm saying? And so she could be working for herself very, very soon. And you know what I say, because I said this a long time ago, you know, I never got the poor righteous teacher thing. Like I'm like, yo, you're the wealthy righteous teacher. And like now wealth is like, you know what I'm saying? It's really like being able to feed, like eat, like Ross says, grow your own food. Because if somebody else feeding you, you're not wealthy. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't understand what wealth is, but we can even just for this conversation, you know what I'm saying, the wealthy righteous teacher, not the poor righteous teacher anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because even with doing this, you know, it was like months ago. You know what I'm saying? I guess I need to do it right now. Because I was like, yeah, any donations I get, I was talking to Consider. I probably shouldn't even say it, but I'm like, we should put together all of the donations or whatever that people just give. And it was like $60 like for the last like 6 months, you know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? Like, but if we would put it in a pot together so that we can use it for building, for using, I would say to give it to like Rome in the Bush and her organization and everything that she building, because she like ahead of me, and like definitely I'm learning from everything she do. So like all of that stuff is just like, but it's difficult to talk about that. That's why I'm like, you know, even when I come on here, I just talk about stuff I think that we should know, because I still think that we should learn and know the information and learn history and learn that we did put our money together. You know, back then, Black people in 1780 something put their money together so they can bury each other and get medical help. And like today, we don't do that. And it's different. We suffer from the illusion of inclusion. But like even when you talk about any of this stuff, they think, but it don't matter. We got to put our money together. You know what I'm saying? Like it's support the Black businesses, but also put our money together, because if we go invest in businesses, where we gonna get the money from? You know what I'm saying? But that's just me. Maybe I'm poor, but
Absolutely.
Nah,
I totally agree. Totally agree.
yeah,
yeah, I agree with you. Forecast. You know, the issue is that um people just don't want to be alone. Like, we understand that we're social creatures, and because of that, you know, a lot of people will gravitate to hanging around those who they know mean them no good, but after a while they sit with them long enough because they just need some type of camaraderie. And before long they see no wrong, they see no ill within those people, especially when they find themselves being so closely attached to them, right? Um, and I'll use myself as an example. Um, Back in October, I had a mental health breakdown, and I went to seek help from somebody, and during that time, um, I had a very important lesson that was instilled in me, which is forgiving myself, which is something that I don't do. I never did. I never even thought about doing it. You forgive others, but we never take the time to forgive ourselves. Um, and during those exercises and those challenges that this person had gave me, I really had to think about social media, right? Like I have my organization page, and then I have my personal page. And my personal page is just for those who have helped me get to where I am. Like I don't even have family members on there. It's just again people who I've met through race work. But it was at the point where, hey, I'm now doing something, and I supported you. Can you come back and support me? You don't have. I'm not asking for, and anybody can tell you, for any program I ever did, I never asked for a dime. I never asked for a donation from anybody because I didn't feel I worked for that yet. Like you got to put in hundreds of hours of your life to get that first donation from somebody. And so I couldn't get a like, I couldn't get a comment, I couldn't get a hey, yo, I watched it, maybe try doing this, try doing that. No critiques, no nothing. And so I was at the point where I realized I was an empty cup and people are still drinking from me, but nobody's taking the time to fill me up. And so I had to get rid of a lot of people. Again, good people, very good people, but they no longer served a purpose in my life. And then, that's me. I'm usually a bridge burner, to be honest with you. I'm usually a bridge burner, but I have learned some tack, and I have learned to not burn bridges with people because when I cut you off, I cut you off. I've done it to blood family. Um, so my wife has watched somebody do it. So when it comes to this situation with her family, yeah, she's done with them. To answer your question, Sister Cassandra. But again, until people are ready to actually walk away from those who have helped them to get somewhere, but then realize that those people can no longer help you grow, then our people will continue to just be in a stagnant state of confusion, suffering from illusions of grandulism, thinking that things are all peachy when they living out in the middle of the damn street, but yet they still think life is good. Or I can still go to this soup kitchen. Life is good. Hey, I understand having a positive perspective because that's all I'm having right now. But you got to realize when people no longer serve a purpose and when you're putting in too much time and energy with some people and what that is leading you to do.
Yeah, exactly, my brother. So consider you wanna say anything before we get off of here?
I think people, we have to understand that some people are only there for a season, but we sometimes keep them in our lives way too long. He'll, the universe or whatever you call them, he'll put the people in your path to help you to grow. And sometimes we get attached to them, and when it's time to break that relationship, we'll go down with the ship because we don't want to release them. And I think that's what we as Black people are having a hard time with, because some of these leaders are not supposed to be connected to us right now. And we're so busy thinking about the past and how great we thought they were in the past, that we're still holding on to them today. And those are the same leaders that are taking us down. And if we as Black people don't begin to learn their tactics and to understand who we really dealing with, and just because I look like you, if the wrong thing is coming out of my mouth and I'm not growing with you, then those are the ones that we have to delete. We have to move them out of the way so that we can begin to continue to grow. Because if we don't, I'm telling you, from what's coming, a lot of us are going to die. and we don't even understand that. We don't have a clue. We keep hearing about, okay, in the year 20, whatever, Black people are going to be obsolete. We're going to be this, that, and the other. And we still sitting there not even trying to grow. And that blows my mind. If I'm hearing that, for me, I want to build. I want to build as much as I can now. So I'm good when that time comes, or I passed it down to my lineage. But that's not what we're doing. We know what's going on in these schools, but we still allow them to educate us. We know what's going on in these hospitals. We still allow them to medicate us. Are we seriously going to continue? Even the covers that's coming off of the pastors, we still trusted them with our lives. Are we kidding? When are we going to smell the coffee and say, look, it's time to grow. It's time to be separate. It's time to learn not and move away and start growing and buying land. You can buy land here and start communities, because they give land sales out all the time and you can get land for like $500. You understand what I'm saying? But are we ready to do that and protect the communities with force if we have to?
Yeah.
But thank you for letting me come on Forecast. I appreciate it.
No, thank you for coming on. And guess what? We're going to definitely have to. So,
Yes.
And also, you know, because it's like we was even talking about, like, the sister Black Megas is like very cool with, you know, Queen Thais, you know, who got her own school, and support her. You support Realm in the Bush, and you know what I'm saying, like what she's doing, because I know what she's doing it, you know what I'm saying. I know that firsthand. Black Megas know Queen Thais is doing it firsthand, and she's been doing it for like 12 years too.
We need more information on her. And where's his Cash App? What happened to it? I thought I saw it up there, but we need to support our brother. We need to support when we know that somebody's in need. We should even think twice about it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, just putting our money together to do things, you know what I'm saying? Like, whether it be buy property or just the people who agree on that particular thing. That's the whole purpose of the group. Everybody ain't got to be a part of everything. Right. It's just like you putting the idea out there, and the people, those who want to be a part of it, be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but let's stop thinking that one person can do it all, because one person can't. You know, if you know that you have a gift, everybody should be working in their part in their field. Everybody should be growing their gift. If you are a baker, get the other bakers together. If you are a builder, get the other builders together. If you're a painter, get the painter, the plumbers, and the HVACs together, and let's build.
Thanks. Exactly. You know, so Black Megas, my brother, you know, I appreciate you coming on here. And like I said, when I seen it, I was like, what the world? Like, you know what I'm saying? When I seen that picture, and then I seen, because I didn't know what was happening. I was just like, and then I seen you was hurt, and then I was like, what happened? You know what I'm saying? And I'm sorry you everything that you went going through, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Of course, like, anytime anybody's caught up in their system, that's why I think their system got to be destroyed.
God, yes, it's got to be. And I hope Black, I hope that you're taking notes and you write the book. This is your opportunity to expose some stuff that you're seeing. This is your opportunity to expose it. And there's a young lady that I'm going to introduce you to, and I'm going to send you her information when we're done with this, and maybe you can contact her, because I think she can help you to get out of this. You know what I'm saying? So we'll get together.
Yeah.
Man, look here.
Told you, Cassandra don't be playing, bro.
Oh, I already know she don't be playing. That's why I wanted her on Sankofa Radio, and so I know I gave her the information to get linked up on there. But I still have to make sure that I do my part to see that she gets on there as well. But
if it's meant, it's meant. But you got so much on your plate. I understand. If it's meant, it'll happen. But right now, we need to concentrate on real stuff right here, and all that other stuff will come. It'll come when it's time.
But you know that it is that selflessness that that I've had for a long time, and then I removed, right? I guess I would say I resensitized myself to the point where, you know, even if it was like some kind of small little scuffle of seeing Black people doing something like.
You cut off, Black Megas. I don't know if you got a phone call or something.
Uh-oh.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you good now.
Okay. Yeah. And I resensitized myself. I can't stomach watching black people fight each other, even when it's something that needs to be taken care of. I remember a sister showed me a video of this sister over in Jamaica who had been scamming people with Western Union. They thought they were sending their money to people, but instead she was stealing it. And so now they were walking her through the town and beating the bricks off of her. And I couldn't stomach that stuff, man, because I know we are outside of our minds, we are outside of our element. We are conceived under their construct. And I don't care what nobody says. I know you have these American first riflemen and stuff like that. But here's the pure simple fact. If you are even conceived under a system that is not that of your own, then you don't know how you as an individual will be affected by these things. And so when I look at our people, man, like, granted, there are some monsters, and I wish nothing but, righteous justice to those monsters. But then there are some who can be saved. There are those who are just looking for the correct answer, man, and they keep getting jammed up. People even in my situation, right? We've seen it all the time. Good kid, had good grades, going to school, getting ready to go off to college, did something that anybody does. You could have just went out, grabbed a joint with your homeboy or whatever. Cops pull up on you. Now all of a sudden, you looking at doing some prison time based on where you were at. If you were in the deep south like me in New Orleans, yeah, you had a blunt on you. You're looking at time. You just straight up looking at time. And so now this person becomes somebody who's looked at as being a drag of society and can't get anywhere. And so now this person needs to be able to make ends meet. Okay, I tried going by it the right way. I tried getting unemployment. Nobody would give me anything. I tried getting a job. Nobody would hire me. I tried doing freelance work, but I don't have any skills to offer because the schoolhouse doesn't teach you any skills. So the only thing I can do is go out there and either steal or sling, pimp. I need to be able to now rely on my body, prostitute, so many things. And again, the system is making it easy. They're making it easy. Our people can now create an OnlyFans page and and now just do something on there, and now I got money coming in. Look, I could probably create an OnlyFans page and say I'm gonna show my feet typing on the keyboard. That would generate dollars. That would generate dollars. I don't think some people really understand how perverse the world is right now, but that would generate dollars. But I'd be damned if I sell out myself, my morality, my family, or anything like that for $1. We gotta stand 10 toes strong on this, on anything that we do. And consider, trust me, I am watching everything, and I am wellly documenting it as need be. I actually was thinking about trying to do a quote unquote vlog through my personal Instagram, because I did reconnect with family, and I have family that's law enforcement that is even saying, you're going through this and this is bullshit. Okay, well, let me show you why it's bullshit though. There is a system at play. I don't care what nobody say. Y'all can try to remove yourself from it, but the system is always there. And the problem is that the system don't ever take a break. It never takes a break.
The only way it takes a break is you get out of it and just moving out the country. Period.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's what it is. Because I've known people that has actually moved out and they're fine. So you have to understand, you got to make a choice. Once this is over, you got to decide, do you want to go or stay? You got to set some things up now and think about what your gifts are and think about what it is, how you're going to make some money to be able to sustain. And money, it's so easy to make money. We don't even understand that. It's so easy. It's so many ideas, but you have to be willing to, to do it. And you may even have some help that'll help you to get there and do what needs to be done. Because this is what it is. It's all about us coming together, helping each other. What are we doing if we're not here to help? What are we doing?
Yeah, I consider. I'm trying to encourage you to do a business course, because you're good at that. Like you should teach people. But
You should. You
Oh,
should,
Jesus.
sis, because you have a lot of people calling themselves quote unquote economics experts, but they never show us how they live. And they always want to put on classes and charge people no,
Yeah,
they say these classes usually cost
yeah,
$5,000, but I'm
yeah.
gonna give it to you at a discount of $700. Like, come on, man, I ain't that stupid. I ain't that stupid. But if somebody who's literally doing it and can show you, yo, this is my life and this is how I'm living. It ain't glitz
Mhm.
and glamour, but I gotta work for it. Like
Yeah, you
that
gotta work
speaks
for it.
volumes.
Yeah, you gotta work for it. But it's worth it. It's so worth it. But it's so many ways. I'm telling you, it's all about your gifts. He placed gifts in you for a reason, and you have to activate those gifts. Just like Forecast, he's in CDL driving. I mean, that's money right there. That's money right there. Class, well, how many weeks you go to school, Forecast?
12 weeks. Well, it
Okay,
was like 10. It was ended up being like 10
because you
weeks.
went part-time, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay, you go full-time, it's 4 weeks.
Hmm.
I'm just saying. And
Yeah.
that's money. Driving CDO, that's money. And that might be something I'm just saying, I know you're into IT, create your own. IT is much needed in Africa. They need an internet. I'm serious. They need internet there. So why not build it? Why not create it? You know the ins and out of it. You know how to do it. That's money. They need a good system. And that's a contract that's much needed. And I guarantee you the government will go along with it. They're waiting for somebody to come up with a good system because they don't know how to come up with stuff like that. They're not going to use it's very unfortunate. They're not going to use their own, I should say. They'll use an American that'll do it for them. It's much needed. And you got the best field going. IT is not going anywhere. Cyber is not going anywhere. That field is wide open right now, and sky is the limit. There are companies hiring in New York, California, all over. Online or pay you to work from home, making dollars.
Yeah. And yeah, it's like all the opportunities are there if you want to do it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the
Mhm.
truth.
Contract yourself out.
And I want to say this too, because it's not only like, and the thing is, we gotta realize like we live in like real lives. Like, my sister Erica, you notice she haven't been like around. Like I tried to let her come on here and say everything that she's going through, but like we need to be helping her. And she's like a good, like every time like I try to like help her or do something, she'll get like like, oh yeah, thanks for this, and pay it back. You know what I'm saying? Like Erica's
Some
like
people,
cool as
yeah.
hell. Yeah, Erica cool as hell. She owed me a cotton candy cake, so but and she has the business Shelf in a Chair, like, but it didn't get like support. And then we have other people like you never know if somebody lose their parents or like what I'm saying, or somebody in their family and they need help. You know what I'm saying? Like all of these things. That's the importance of putting your stuff together, and that's all I wanted to make sure I wanted to say too.
Man, look here, when you talk about losing family members, man, um I just lost the last matriarch of my
Wow.
family
Wow.
the day I went to court 2 Fridays ago. Like
Mm.
got the call, well no, got the text message that she had just made her transition. And again, I told you I grew up below the poverty line. That the same damn near holds true for many of my cousins. And so now I'm watching as family is doing the most ugliest thing, all for money.
Mhm.
You know, you got to watch who you give those titles to.
Mhm.
My wife was talking to one of her sisters, and her little sister healing circle is that we put these titles on people and we think
Mhm.
that those things really mean something.
Mhm.
Father, brother, mother,
Mhm.
sister, cousin, whoever, even best friend, even teacher. And because you
Mhm.
put those titles on it, you automatically give that affirmation, that love is attached to it. And again, sometimes those things can be very toxic. And it would go right
Mhm.
back to what me and Consider had already said, is that you got to learn some people are only in your life for a phase. Once that phase is said and done, you go your way because they'll drag you down, man.
Mhm.
They'll drag you down.
Yeah.
And you'll begin to realize when it's time to let them go because it will no longer be a blessing.
Yeah. So yeah, man. I appreciate y'all for coming on here, man. And again, my brother, I know everything's gonna work out for you, my brother. I'm just sorry everything happened like it did. And don't let no and that's another important lesson we didn't even really touch on as much as I wanted to. Don't let somebody stop you. And you talked about it, but we could have went in on it, but don't let anybody stop you from doing what you have to do as a man. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. I get the pressures and all of that, but it's designed to make you submit every day of your life. You know what I'm saying? That's why we're just sick in this society. You know what I'm saying? So I want to thank y'all for coming on here. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead, my brother, if you want to say something. Walter,
No,
say
yeah, I was
that.
just gonna say, man, as I sit here and try to cook some food for my family, now I think y'all
Oh, yeah, it's
because
like 7:30 over there, ain't it?
yeah, no, it's 9:21. I'm 2 hours behind you.
Oh, okay.
So, for uh, again, I just want to thank y'all for even, wanting to do this for me. Because there's a lot of people who I brush shoulders with, and that sincerity that I have, doesn't rub off on them, and so they'll just take me as a clown, as a fool, something like that, or somebody who just speaks in pure naivete. But those who understand when somebody is wholeheartedly about something and being sincere about it, I have always found that those are the people who always trust and believe in you, and those are the people who hold you up. And I see who those people are, and I see again, like I said, I did a cleaning out on social media, and I cleaned out those who I know I mean, granted, they probably would have sent some kind of support and at this time, but that's not what I, you know, would have wanted or needed. I ain't gonna lie. If it's somebody who I've done a lot to support and they would have sent me $20, I would feel irritated about it because to me there has to be a camaraderie, there has to be a symbolic energy, again that reciprocalness. Okay, so you've given me 20 now. You know, I already know in my heart that's going to make me do something astronomical for you later on. But then are you going to come right back again to reciprocate that for me? Keeping it a community thing where we don't even have to speak about it. Like, this is just how we move. And I'm thankful to say that I feel like I'm at home and that I'm with family when I'm amongst y'all, even though we're only doing this through the internet. I tell you, we can create bonds through this stuff, but the real work happens off these lines.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, that's the truth, my brother. Ross said she sent money for Erica and he never gave it to her. I don't know. I don't know. But I know Ross, she definitely sends money. You know what I'm saying? She sent money to Matron the other day. She definitely support me all the time. So shouts out to Raw in the building. And shouts out to both of y'all. Um
Yeah,
and
shout out to you, Raw. I see you in the comment. You said that your family from the 12th and the 13th. I grew up in the 10th ward and moved over to the 3rd ward, but New Orleans is my whole stomping ground.
Wow. And Ron will support you now. She will do it. She will support you. So
mhm.
thank you for this opportunity, Forecast. Appreciate it. Much, 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 much appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you, consider. And she definitely doing big things. And y'all support Rome in the Bush again. Shouts out to Matron, Matron in the building. Y'all go subscribe to Matron. She back reading again. And I learned a lot on her thing. Shouts out to my brother Anthony, also down there in New Orleans, you know what I'm saying? Probably down there eating some gator meat or something, I was just joking, my brother. But Melanated Goddess, shouts out to her, Straight Black Pride, and everybody else, and definitely Raw and y'all too. I'm gonna let this be the last word.
I didn't know. Hey, I gotta say this. I didn't know Straight Black Pride had jumped in. That was Genie. Just to
Oh,
let
for
y'all
real?
know. Just to let
Okay.
y'all know. That was the brother Genie.
Oh, that's what's up. Like, damn, I didn't even know they even know my channel exists. You know what I'm saying? They be blocking my channel so hard anyway. It's like 2 people watching, so but it's all good. I'm gonna let this be the last words, y'all. Hopefully I got it right, you know.
To allow themselves to be beaten and brutalized
Oh no, let's
and do
start it
nothing,
over.
think that they are foolish. To allow themselves to be beaten and brutalized and do nothing whatsoever to protect themselves. They are foolish. They should have the right to defend themselves against
Mhm.
made against them by anyone. If a dog is biting a black man, the black man should kill the dog. Whether the dog is a police dog, a hound dog, or any kind of dog. If a dog is sick on a black man, when that black man is doing nothing but trying to take advantage of what the government says is supposed to be his, then that black man should kill that dog or any two-legged dog who sicks the dog on.
Should other black men help that particular person who was attacked?
I think you'll find, sir, that there will come a time when black people wake up and become intellectually independent enough to think for themselves as other humans, think that they are foolish.
He said then they'd be scared, but any 2-legged dog, that's for sure. But as always, man, we have got to start standing for something, or we're gonna keep falling for anything.
Peace.
Yeah.